Folks, god damn does that music get you fired up. Welcome back. It is time for the Trainwreck Sports 2021 Best of Buffalo Bracket, sponsored by Outlet Liquor. What's your outlet? It's the place to buy a case. And guys, as you can see, I'm fired up. I'm joined by Maniac, DJ Supreme. This week to me, this is Christmas. This is Christmas week in Q1 of the year. Once again, so fired up, Supreme. These past 2 years we've been doing this have been nuts too.
Absolutely. I mean, see the growth of the Buffalo bracket year over year. We started up 2 years ago. This is our third season now. It grew so much, and it was so popular in the first year that we doubled the size of the bracket. We went from 32 to 64 teams. We have a full bracket now, and there's a lot of great things to enjoy about Buffalo. So really excited to get into it here in the selection show, show the folks out there who is slotted out where this year. We have a lot of newcomers, and we had a lot of fireworks last year. I mean, There was a lot of chalk last year. We were getting some criticism about that, from the fans. But we also saw things like, beef on weck, a roast beef sandwich taking on a drive-in movie theater for our biggest poll of the entire bracket. It had nearly as many votes and views as the rest of the first round. It was absolutely insane. But with that being said, we also had to innovate this year. We have an integrity committee as a result of that, as we suspected a little bit of foul play. So, folks, we want to keep this fun. We want to keep it, we want to have some integrity to whoever wins, whatever the best thing about Buffalo is. So, our integrity committee, we might have our first disqualification this year if we suspect any more foul play. What do you think, Maniac?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're not going to tolerate any horseplay, any tomfoolery. And it's funny because you don't need a crazy year to get a crazy bracket. But it's been a crazy year, so I just expect that that'll make things even crazier when we break down this field of 68 with obviously your first four matchups obviously set to take place earlier this week. Can't wait to get it underway. Can't wait to see the new additions. Me, I'm still a little upset about the snubs despite being on the selection committee myself, but I'm excited for the general population to see this Buffalo bracket.
All right, Maniac. Well, let's fire it up. Let's start talking about the first four in, first four out. Like you said, a lot of snubs. I know the main one that you're not going to be happy with, Maniac, and I'm even a little upset too. Douglas Jamal, first four out. We have 4 seasons. Weather did not make it this year. Proximity to Canada and Frank Gourmet hot dogs.
What I see right there, and I'll let Supreme jump in here because I know he's a firm believer in these first four out. 4 seasons, weather, and proximity to Canada, both irrelevant this past year with the fact that quarantining and you had the border closed. So it doesn't surprise me to see them out when they were in, last year. But Douglas Jamal and Frank Gourmet hot dogs, I mean, those two had monster years. And you just look at some of the field. I mean, maybe we were a little too, I wouldn't call it homerish, but like maybe a little too reluctant to change. But it'll be interesting to see how the committee continues to evolve. And we did have a fair amount of turnover this year, Supreme.
No doubt about it. I think with 4 seasons, weather, proximity to Canada especially was a casualty of the times that we're in, the pandemic. But Douglas Jamal, I think he was a guy who's just starting to get onto the radar as a prominent figure in Buffalo. There's no question that he's doing a fantastic job down at Seneca One Tower. And now he's making the move to go get the Hotel Henry from the previous owners and bail out a lot of, soon-to-be newlyweds out of some troublesome financial situations. So tip of the cap to him. I mean, the committee will certainly have our eye on him for the 2022 bracket. But Frank Gourmet hot dogs just didn't make the cut. They're starting to get some national acclaim for how delicious their hot dogs are. And, for those two teams, you could expect to see them back in the future. What do you think, Al?
So looking right here, we got the last 4 in. Big couple matchups here. We got Howard Simon picking the Bills, taking on Buffalo Chop House. And this next matchup, I just call it the Who matchup. Cammy Clune taking on Brighton Eggert Pharmacy. I think this matchup screams a lot of people going to Google to figure out who these matchups or who these people or places are.
You could have the Who matchup, but I mean, I think I'm definitely saying Who for Brighton Eggert Pharmacy. I know a lot of people are fired up about that. I know a lot of people are fired up about Howard Simon picking the Bills. But I think Chop House and Cammy Clune could have two huge coalitions of people behind them, and those are not going to be, just cakewalks for Brighton Eggert or Howard Simon. I'm very interested to see how those matchups transpire.
No doubt. And I think with Howard, I think his edge is how relatable him picking the Bills really is on GR. I mean, he's so up and down. He picks the Bills one week and they're going 12-4, and then the next week, in the past they'd be 7-9 or 4-12. I mean, it's hilarious to see with like one piece of news how he changes his complete outlook on the team. But yeah, Chop House, a fantastic place to go for a delicious meal. Brighton Eggert Pharmacy, I wouldn't be surprised if Brighton Eggert Pharmacy gets stomped out by Cammy Clune. Brighton Eggert Pharmacy doesn't really bring any warm memories to you, but Cammy Clune doing her thing, not only on The Voice, but now singing the anthems, right, boys?
Yeah, she's been doing the anthems at the games. I mean, I know Al loves his Brighton Eggert Pharmacy, but I think they're on the tracks with the Cammy Clune train coming through.
Hey, listen, I'll promote the crap out of this, but Brighton Eggert Pharmacy, that they were the reason that I was able to still have a fun AFC Championship weekend. Some stuff happens. You get exposed to COVID. What do you got to do? You got to get that test. And luckily, it came back negative and still able to have a fun weekend. So with the course of the year that we've had, I mean, guys, it's the 1 year anniversary from, working from home and, no longer being at Studio D and having a blast here and doing everything virtual via Zoom, OBS, StreamYard. It's a very, very interesting matchup. Brighton Eggert Pharmacy has life.
Oh, man.
That said it all. I expect hijinks and madness. I mean, let's face it. If there's anything that the ends, we forget every year. We get 330 plus days to forget that these brackets, whether it's the NCAA tournament teams or it's the entities in Buffalo, they tend to get crazy. And I think we're going to see some craziness right out the gate.
Totally agree. I think it would be a perfect time to move things over to the North Towns region, give everybody the official preview of the non-playing teams for the bracket.
And here we go. The first 16 entities that are actually in the bracket. What is it, Supreme? The Northtown region?
Northtown region. And we might be Northtown homers here at Trainwreck Sports, but in another poll of ours, more people prefer the Northtowns than the Southtowns, so at a 51-49 margin. But this region, L, is stacked, and got some newcomers. We got some matchups that shook up year over year. Chicken Wings looking for its second title in 3 years. As a clear 1 seed. But what are you seeing in the rest of the region?
Looking around at this region, like you said, yeah, Chicken Wings looking for another W in the Trainwreck Sports Best of Buffalo bracket. It's interesting because you really got to put, COVID, quarantining, being at home into play in a lot of these picks. 2 seed, lack of traffic. There's no such thing as traffic anymore in Buffalo. It's amazing. I can't remember the last time I've gotten stuck on the 33, 90, 190 because of an accident. And that's a fact. Looking somewhere else, another reason due to COVID and quarantine, you go to the 5 seed, Ted's Hot Dogs. They have added online ordering to their repertoire, and it's been a disaster. The Ted's the Ted's location that I go to consistently, they've been struggling with the online ordering. Ted's is old school, used to be very traditional. You walk in, you stand in that line, and you order your food. Now they're trying to do both. And I'm not going to lie. I think 12 seed Sponge Candy gets it done in an upset over Ted's Hot Dogs. As we know, 5 to 12 seed, we're talking about upsets every year with 12 seed. So I like Sponge Candy there, Maniac.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that you love Sponge Candy. The thing that sticks out to me, just like Supreme saying this region is stacked, I'm seeing 3 to 4 potential matchups that I could see in the Sweet 16, and they wouldn't surprise me. Let me show Duff's Tim Hortons. I mean, that's just a buzzsaw. And, of course, they're both at 8 or 9, so good luck in the second round against Chicken Wings. RIP Apple Picking, by the way, making its Buffalo bracket debut. Good to see them in the building. But, again, these Sweet 16 matchups, Elmo's 500 Pearl. I mean, you want to talk about monster years. Elmo's with the takeout and 500 Pearl with, $25 shots at Vice. I mean, there's no way they're not just dominating. And then you look at the 7-10 Griselda Records versus Lloyd. I mean, Lloyd, obviously a powerful entity, an absolute powerhouse in Western New York. But Griselda Records, with all the momentum in the world, with what West Side Gun, Benny have been able to accomplish. Benny with the theme song for the Bills, basically opening a store at the Walden Galleria Mall. Just so much done. So very interested to see what happens at 7-10, the 6-11 matchup. Ted's Hot Dog Sponge Candy could be Sweet 16. Duff's Tim Hortons could be. And, when I look at it, I'm looking at potential upsets at the two bottom matchups, boys. Cup and Char Pepperoni, I think a lot of people support, but will they be able to rally votes without a one restaurant like pushing them? Obviously, a restaurant could push them, but Sunsets over Lake Erie is a fist, whereas Cup and Char Pepperoni is kind of spread a little bit. And then, like you said, Al, traffic is kind of non-existent. Not a big year as far as progress for lack of traffic, just because there's nothing to really be gained. And Savoy Sundays, those are something that people treasure.
Yeah. I think with Savoy Sundays, much to add to your point, Maniac, Sunday's a tough spot if you're trying to go out on the town in downtown Buffalo. It used to be Snooty Sundays. Al and I know that.
Yeah.
Well. But, now it's turned into Savoy Sundays. They could give lack of traffic a run for their money. I think lack of traffic holds on at least to the second round because it's still a huge benefit, COVID or not, of living in the Western New York area is that we deal with traffic, but it's not actual traffic. And it's been pretty smooth sailing ever for this past year.
Yeah, a lot of these entities will be looking to make it just out of this first round, boys.
And here's the end of the day, though, with this region. You got to think chicken wings. They've got to be what? Minus 400, 500 to win this region, Maniac?
All it's going to take, if Griselda can get to that Sweet 16 to that Elite 8, one retweet from West Side and chicken wings are on upset alert. That's all I'm going to say. If he tells the people for the culture to go win him this bracket, chicken wings, you're in trouble.
No, it makes a very great point, Maniac, when it comes down to getting those key retweets from the businesses, from the people behind these matchups.
They got to push it. They got to want it. We've rarely seen a business. We saw last year a drive-in movie theater. No offense to them because we love going there. We've all been there. Yeah. Almost take down Beef on Weck with just a little bit of rallying. Now, again, integrity committee aside, we'll see in the coming years. But if a business gets behind its momentum here, no telling what they can do in this bracket.
Yeah, I think Pat Moran single-handedly got that Beef on Weck victory last year.
It's very possible. It's very possible.
The rumor mill is churning.
Alrighty, is it time to kick it to the next one here, DJ Supreme? I think we got the Niagara Frontier region. This is where the 7-10 matchup, every 7-10 from here on out is unbelievable. And in the Niagara Frontier as well. What else do we have? Making its first ever appearance, the Dart. The Dart is a 13 seed taking on 4 seed Gabriel's Gate. I really love this side of the bracket. And like I said, this is the start of the 7-10s. Every 7-10 from here on out is absolute fire, DJ Supreme. And this one, Seneca 1 versus Nate Geary's local golf courses.
Yes, I think it's the established local golf courses where there's so many good ones around town that have been here for a very long time. Another thing that's been in Buffalo for a long time is Seneca 1 Tower, but not the way that it looks or the way that it's functioning right now. We give them all the kudos in the world and much appreciation to Sean and Douglas Jamal for letting us cover the Buffalo Blue Jays from up in the tower this past summer. But they have so much going on in that building between the new tech hub for M&T, between the new bar that they're putting in the lobby, some of the auxiliary areas out in front of the building. And it's just right in the smack dab center of where you'd want to be in downtown Buffalo. If it's the weather's great, if the Sabres might be playing, hopefully they'll be playing better so we can enjoy them once we get back. But I think that's going to be a really tight matchup right there. I think obviously with the Bills home playoff games, good night now to pedal tours, but you'll notice that with last year's champion, Bills home opener, in the year that was, we weren't able to enjoy the home opener. So we had to change things up. And the two of you were pretty lucky to attend the Baltimore game in the division round. So really, I think they are very deserved of a number one. And I like a lot of chalk in this region, but I do think that, local golf courses could edge out Seneca One Tower. Maniac, what do you think?
I mean, this just like the other the Northtown's bracket kind of said, Sweet 16 high quality matchups. These matchups to me say controversy. I'm looking at Jim Stakeout versus Beef on Weck. You're going to have your people who don't like Beef on Weck and, have gotten that late night Jim Stakeout, and you're going to have them on the other side. I mean, right now we've got our Bachelor correspondent says, I swear to God, if Beef on Weck moves on, I'm moving away. I mean, we got people putting stuff online here.
Oh.
People are emotional about this bracket. I love to see the dart in. I hate to see it against such a powerful entity like Gabriel's Gate. But again, that's a thing where if Gabriel's Gate doesn't get their, cross their T's and dot their I's, the dart is coming for wins. The dart is coming for victory, and it knows nothing else. So we'll see what it can do. I love Buffalo Creek Casino at a 5. I think that's kind of a sleeper in this bracket. Love to see Seneca One Tower with the year they had. I was thinking about it, even though this is kind of basketball, like a parody of the NCAA tournament, Seneca One Tower's revitalization is kind of reminding me of Oregon football in the early 2010s, the late 2000s with, flashy new jerseys, new style of, fast-paced playing. That's what Seneca One Tower's doing. They're getting a lot of stuff going on there. So very excited to see what they got coming in 2021 as well. And of course, you got your powerhouse local breweries. So even with Bill's home playoff games, I don't think Bill's home playoff games is a much of a favorite in this frontier as, say Chicken Wings were. Al, you were floating what, a minus 450 number for Chicken Wings? I would put BHPG at probably minus 275.
And who do you have as the biggest competition? Local breweries?
If they go on social, Seneca One Tower, you got local breweries as well. And then you never know. I mean, our audience with the casino, the dart. I mean, if the dart gets, what happens right now if the dart wins 4 in a row going into this matchup? Exactly. You tell me. So, and then if the dart is in the Sweet 16 against, Bill's home playoff games, which, that's what it would be. It would be a Sweet 16 matchup. And the dart has won 5 in a row. Yeah, I get it's Bill's home playoff games, but the dart has momentum, and there's nothing like dart momentum.
There really isn't. And you look at the powerhouses in this region. It's Bill's home playoff game. It's local breweries. And then, I got to feel like Buff Creek and Seneca One Tower. I mean, the things that Sean and Douglas are doing downtown is absolutely incredible. Rumors of a casino. The stuff they're doing at the Statler. I mean, they're all over the news. They're all over the headlines. Love Buff Creek, but not going to lie, Maniac. Going to Erie yesterday or over the weekend, and having.
Don't get me wrong, but Buffalo Creek has a lot of room to improve, and I say that in a good way. It's a good thing. They can make it a nicer venue to be at. They can step up the quality, and it's all very easy moves to make. But you're absolutely right.
But like I said, you really should come down to this one once again. You're taking the chalk, Bill's home playoff games, taking on local breweries. I don't think there's enough diehard, Buff Creek fans, dart fans to push them along too far. But hey, I've been wrong before, so we'll see.
And you love that. A great point by Ty B. What if the dart picks itself? A little dartception on that comment. So I think it's going to be dangerous. This is going to be a really exciting region to watch.
This is going to be from the get-go. I'm seeing, we obviously had the other, the Northtown bracket we did so far, but I'm seeing 16 matchups. I would say 3 or 4 of them are maybe cakewalks. The other 12 to 13 are going to be very exciting and very interesting to see what happens, gents.
Yeah, I feel like in these regions, you either have the close, 55, 45, 60, 40, or you just have bloodbaths, 85 to 90% in these first couple rounds. That's traditionally what it's been over the past couple of years, I feel like, Supreme.
Yes, the 1 and 2 seeds definitely beat up on the 15, 16s in the first round, especially like Chicken Wings, Bill's home playoff games, local breweries. They're going to steamroll their opponents. And, thanks for coming, apple picking and pedal tours, but,
bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. So I think it's, with the, we're through half the bracket, and I think there's still a lot of exciting matchups. I think there might be the most upsets in the South Towns region with another big 7-10 matchup.
Before we get into it real quick, we just said we're halfway through. How many of those 32 things that we just showed could win the bracket this year? I'd say 4 to 6. I mean, I would be shocked. It could get up to 8. It could get up to 8, but I would be shocked at like 7 and 8. I would just be shocked at 7 and 8. I can say 6. I can say 6.
I just think that left side of the bracket that we're talking about right now has the 2 powerhouses, right? Yeah. That's got the Wings and the home opener.
Or the playoff games? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, that's got the strong. That side has the big heavy favorites on the left hand side. I don't know. It's tough. Like I said, you got a minus 450 to 500, and you have that and Bills home playoff game, another heavy favorite. So it's gonna be tough.
And historically, I believe that those two have met. For now, if they do meet in the Final Four, let's say, that will be the 3rd straight year that they meet each other either in the championship or Final Four.
Yeah,
I mean, 2 clear-cut Wings, Bills. It's as Buffalo as it gets.
Dare I say, like a Duke Kentucky UNC type combo of the last 10 to 20 years, basically.
All right, Maniac. So I think it's time to head over to the South Towns. This is the Best of Buffalo bracket 2021 edition, sponsored by Outlet Liquor. It's the place to buy a case. What's your upset? And here we go. We are moving on to the South Towns region, where this is upset central. I mean, another 7 to 10 matchup, DJ Supreme and Maniac, where it could go either way. I think like these 7 to 10s are going to be very close.
Yeah, I think with this 7 to 10 in particular, I think it's going to be an upset, and I don't think it's going to be close. Hot girl Mads, our girl Madison Carter, I think she's going to demolish Meyer Brothers. And I love Meyer Brothers, but it is truly a seasonal, treat when you go there for some cider, when you go there for the donuts. It's great. Don't get me wrong. But Madison Carter, the way that she has just totally shook up the entire town of Tonawanda and city of Tonawanda, rather, with her investigative journalism this past year. She's top notch at what she does. We wish her all the best moving forward. But in the year that was, Madison Carter, Hot Girl Mads, was lights out. Also, another newcomer into the bracket. I think an interesting matchup. I don't know if they'll be able to squeak out the win, but Oxford Pennant versus Paul's. I mean, Oxford Pennant, with what they did for the Bills, they had such a monster year from a, not just a social media perspective, but they had banners on the field for every game, for every win. They've grown dramatically through a pandemic, and they're also right on top, smack dab in the center of the tallest building now in the area, Seneca One Tower. So monster year for Oxford Pennant as a first comer to the bracket. But Maniac, what else are you seeing in terms of upsets in the South Towns region?
In terms of upsets, I definitely think OP, like you said, could pull it off. Oxford Pennant, again, it's all about that presence. I think Madison. This is a situation where you would see Mayor Bros Cider Mill, Madison Carter minus 4.5. And I'm just going to leave it at that, plain and simple. Absolute powerhouse, absolute dominant year, icon within Buffalo. It was only a matter of time, so we're thankful to have had her while she's gone. Still hasn't announced where she's going, so as far as I know, she's not going anywhere. But Josh Allentown, obviously, I don't think that's going anywhere. But gents, let me say something. For the first time in the history of the Buffalo bracket, I think we could see a 16 over a 1. I do think Good Neighbors always has its spot. I do think Good Neighbors has had a good year. They're 26-2. People were dancing in the streets when it happened. But if the Clune train gets behind this bracket and decides that it's Good Neighbors time, Good Neighbors could be in trouble. They're a pesky bunch, the Clune fans. So we'll just see. And I think that Sabres Twitter right now, speaking of if deciding they want to show up, if Sabres Twitter decides to show up, good night now, Niagara Falls, or Viagra Falls, as Michael Scott calls it.
I mean, Maniac, I could not agree more. This South Towns region is up for grabs. Literally anyone can win this region. Josh Allentown, Madison Carter, Barbill.
Barbill had an astounding year. The second location has continued to thrive, and they're just dominating.
I mean, you go Niagara Falls, Sabres Twitter. I mean, if you get a Chandra retweet on this and he's playing some tunes in the guitar or something, they're gonna rip it.
Can you imagine Chandra with the saxophone leading Sabres Twitter into battle?
Would absolutely love it. When it comes to Macy's Place Transit Drive-In, I'm going to say it right now.
Okay.
That should not be close to 50-50.
Well, I feel bad. It was an upgrade. It was an upgrade for Transit Drive-In. They're a higher seed, but they're on a buzzsaw. If Macy's Place even sneezes on the bracket, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a tough draw for Transit Drive-In with that matchup.
Like St. Bonnie's LSU.
Yeah, but I mean, the Transit Drive-In no matter what happens here in this first round, Transit Drive-In did have a monster year. They were able to get really creative with all sorts of different events, including a UB football game. They were able to go there and cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was an awesome time. So and
they did Bills games too, I believe.
Yeah. Yes, they did. And I guess in the world where things are shut down, they were finding ways to be open and to be safe in a socially distant but a fun way. So, tip of the cap to them, and best of luck against Macy's Place to Transit Drive-In.
These are legitimately 8 matchups where anything can happen. I think if you had a spreads, I would say Allentown is like minus 16.5 and everything is within 12 or less.
Yeah. I would say Josh Allentown, that's the clear cut, like, stomp out in this region. But yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, hey, if Cammy Clune pulls off that upset, I mean, we could be seeing that 16 knock off the 1. Could be.
Oh my gosh, I'm dropping so many Cammy Clune tags this week. It's gonna be insane.
Hey,
let's just talk about something real quick, because we were talking about when we were getting people stirred up when Ryan Thomas was doing videos advocating for Transit Drive-In last year, and I'll say his name. I don't care. Literally, like, people were saying, like, oh, you can't be doing that. You're the one running the bracket. I think we can tag, we can call out, we can make any video campaigning for what we want. People are going to decide what they want to decide.
Agree.
Yes, we're as a matter of fact, we're tagging as many of these places as we can this year in the Buffalo bracket. We want to get as many people involved. We want to see people rally behind what they really love in the Buffalo region. So, the more tags, the better, in my opinion.
I am telling you right now, don't contact the owner of that Chestnut Ridge Park tag. That Twitter. I mean, they will do that if they hit that retweet button.
Watch out, Josh Allentown.
I mean, Josh Allen might need to retweet that.
Yeah, we might add Josh Allen QB. Yeah.
No, Josh Allentown. What a rebrand! And I mean,
there it is.
Our sports web store, folks. The link's in our bio to get these beautiful T-shirts. But I mean, what a way to brand things up, and the way that they decorated Allentown so quickly. And now, like, the banners are all still up. It's such a cool thing where it's arguably, I personally, it's my favorite spot in town because I used to live down there. But, you take this generational quarterback that we've been waiting for forever, and you take one of, if not the best parts of town and combine the two. I wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't go to the Final Four this year.
In that, yeah, like we already said, in that region, anything can happen. But yeah, Josh Allentown for sure, lock in Elite Eight, and I think the upset lock special in that region is definitely the 13 Sabres Twitter.
Yeah,
like I think that's for sure moving on to the next round. At the very minimum, going to making it to the weekend.
Yeah, Sabres Twitter has been on fire lately, much in the opposite way that the Sabres have been.
Yeah,
Sabres Twitter will only grow and only, I don't know if this is the right word, but metastasize or whatever, and grow in strength and ridiculousness as the Sabres get worse. If they continue to be more of a train wreck, it will only get worse and more powerful on Sabres Twitter.
Yeah, Sabres Twitter had a field day today with that Buffalo News power ranking, where we were ranked below
the Kraken,
who do not play their first game as a franchise until the fall.
My favorite are the mentions when the Sabres sort of, please tweet your questions for Dylan Cousins, and it's just, I mean, whoever's running that, I feel bad. I really do feel bad for them. It's unfortunate.
It's like sticking your hand in a snake pit, like when we're in a town.
Yeah,
I mean, it's tough. It's the good and the bad, because you see on the Bills Twitter, they're just getting showered with praise every time they post like a meme or whatever. And that's just how it is. Truly in sports, winning solves everything. And that's what all of these entities will be looking to do in this Buffalo bracket.
100%. And it's time for the Southern tier, the final region here in this 2021 Trainwreck Sports Best of Buffalo bracket. We got Maniacs Wegmans as the 1 seed, Summertime Weather as the 2, and you guys know right away where I'm going to start.
Yeah, my man.
The 7-10. Let's go. Money Taco taking on
someone come get these kids, man.
Money Taco taking on Chef Darian Bryan. Oh my God. And once again, look at the 314. It's Maniacs Taste of Buffalo versus our Buffalo Blue Jays. And who knows? What if Howard Simon gets through here? He's taking on the 11-day power play. So a lot of potential in this side of the bracket.
I love the fact that people will be rooting for Howard as like a hero in the playing game, and then he would hypothetically be going against the 11-day power play where he's definitely the villain. But this is a great bracket. You got Loganberry. Again, this is one where you just have some classic matchups. Elmwood Village, Buffalo Zoo, Loganberry, Andersons. Cost of living takes a little dip. We all have our own stories, but let's face it, it's not exactly cheap to live in Buffalo like it was, say 5-10 years ago, things that people bragged about a lot. It's a nice city, and as our city continues to develop and get nicer as things go, everything's going to get more expensive and a little bit more pricey, I guess. But love to see Buffalo Blue Jays. I think they could make a run, and obviously CDB, Chef Darian Bryan. No limit to what he can do.
Right. To piggyback on your point about cost of living, I got a serious bone to pick with that as a prospective first-time home buyer. I know many of you out there will probably be going through the same thing if you're in that situation. I think local coffee shops could make some noise there. Buffalo Blue Jays, I expect them to roll as a playoff team the one and only year that they're in Buffalo. And Chef Darian Bryan, can't wait to meet him soon. Heard he's going to be at Studio D in the near future, cooking up some meals for the Wrecking Crew. Is that right, Al?
Yes, that is definitely going to happen this summer here at Studio D. Lock that in. But when I'm looking at this region, Supreme, I'm definitely seeing some powerhouses. For sure, Wegmans. And I could see Summertime Weather doing some damage. I mean, this city, the entire United States, we're begging for that summertime weather, especially people up here up north. We're looking at those 10-day forecasts thinking, when's that next 60-degree day? 60-degree day. It's that summertime feel. We're dying for spring. So summertime weather could do some damage as well.
I agree with that 100%. Think about this past summer and how much more bearable the socially distant aspect of society was. Just due to the fact that you could go outside for a walk, or you could go eat at a patio for dinner, and the sun's out late. There's the summertime's here in Buffalo, and obviously we get the rep for bad snow. Don't ever Google Buffalo, New York weather on the internet. By the way, it is like the most depressing thing you'll ever see. But our summers here are lights out, and I think it's a well-deserved 2 seed for summertime weather, back-to-back strong years.
Yep.
For the summertime. But yeah, Wegmans, it's safe to say that it's our Wegmans for the three of us, and they're going to be rolling.
Wegmans' biggest hurdles are going to be new challengers, I think. I do think summertime weather can definitely put it all together and make a run, but 11-day power play, Buffalo Blue Jays, I think, are two of the biggest threats there to Wegmans. And Wegmans was my pick last year, and I'll definitely be having them at least in the final 4 with this bracket this year for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking at that as well. I can see Buffalo Blue Jays, making a run, but for us, guys, we experienced it so differently. We were there every single night this summer. To be honest, it was like my highlight of the summer and early fall was being able to attend those games, watch that team, and hate to say it to my fellow Yankee fans, I hope they're not allowed to listen, but, support that team a little bit more than I ever thought I would. And they were just such a fun time, such a blast to be able to watch and, be in person, even though we weren't even on the field, being at Seneca One Tower. So I think the Blue Jays definitely make a little bit of a run. But yeah, looking at this region once again, I like Wegmans to come out of here and, yeah, at least get to the Final Four.
Well, real quick, what were some of the Blue Jays highlights? We got Bichette bomb video clip the first night.
Yep.
You got the Casey's crew in there just slinging cornhole. got all Cons karaoke, got all Hova karaoke, Madison Carter hip hop karaoke crew.
I was gonna say, how about Madison Carter just destroyed me in that Carter trivia game?
Yeah, she really did destroy you. That was something
She
I
destroyed
actually
you
felt
like
bad.
those wings destroyed Maniac.
Yeah, I was watching back. By the way, cheap plug, Wing Reviews coming out Friday. If you saw the promo today, can't wait. I was looking back on that review of the hot wings we did with Azkar. She was smelling them before and everything. She's crazy.
And what about remember OJ Barker?
Oh
yeah. Oh well, fans will see. Fans will see what happens to our good friend OJB.
You got to stay tuned for that. But just a sneak preview: Madison Carter was wearing a full face of makeup, flawless. Did not a bead of sweat dropped from probably the hottest wings I've ever tried, at least in the city of Buffalo. And I look over, Madison Carter looks like she could hop on, a broadcast at any second. And then on the other side of her is Maniac, who looks like he just got out of the gym from a hot yoga session.
Yeah,
it was the biggest juxtaposition I'd ever seen in the Wing Reviews realm. But yeah, stay tuned. Friday, season 3, episode 1, dropping soon.
Can't wait, gents. I mean, look at this. The last leg of the Buffalo bracket. What's your biggest takeaway now that we've seen all 4 regions, Al?
Biggest takeaway is, once again, I think it's going to be a chalk heavy year. It's just very tough to overcome or to upset Chicken Wings, a Bills home game, and Wegmans. I think that's going to be very tough. I'm interested though in that South Towns region. I think that's the one region where you can truly say any matchup can go any way. And even this region too. I think there's a little bit, Loganberry Anderson's, Elmwood Village, Buffalo Zoo, but I think this is a favorite heavy region with Wegmans and summertime weather, along with home opener in the Frontier and, Wings in the North Towns.
And before we get the architect, Supreme's biggest takeaway, let's hit him with it. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, your 2021 best of Buffalo bracket.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. There it is. In its full glory. But yes, to piggyback on Al's point, I think there's going to be a little bit more parity this year on the right side of the bracket than the left. Certainly some welcome newcomers, especially in the play-in rounds. But I'm excited to see how some of these newer teams perform. Oxford Pennant, Seneca One Tower, even Cup and Sharp Pepperoni. I mean, people might look at them being a 4 seed sideways, but let's not forget that there was almost a national shortage because the demand was so high.
And when that makes the news, that shows how important. If it's a shortage of something that nobody cares about, no big deal. Shortage of something people care about, news story.
100%. And there'll be some teams that were here this year, might not be around next year, but that's why you got to keep it locked here at Trainwreck Sports on the Best of Buffalo bracket. Really, really excited. I know the first round of matchups will be launching live in polls tomorrow at some point. We'll be doing the first 2 matchups throughout the week. And then pretty much right when the tournament starts, we're going to be starting to fire off these polls. And we had a huge year last year. We're looking to make it even better this year. Now that we have a outlet liquor behind us, we couldn't be more excited. The place to buy a case. What's your outlet? And boys, I guess what I should say is, who's in your final 4 for the 2021 Best of Buffalo bracket?
All right, if you want to start with me, I mean, like I said, on the left side, I don't want to try and be a sharp. Usually when I try and be a sharp, it doesn't really work out too well. Chicken Wings in the North Towns, Bills home playoff game in Niagara Frontier. And I just don't think summertime weather has enough to take down Wegmans. I really wanted to go with that, but I'm not. So I'm going with 3 1 seeds. The South Towns, that region is nuts. My top 2 to potentially win that, just due to the timing of this bracket, I love Sabres Twitter and I love Madison Carter. And what's the thing we've talked about is what big profiles can retweet these tweets? You know, who can Chad Deedham assist? You know, Chandra, Jeremy White. I'm serious. Can they get behind Sabres Twitter? You know, or what if Madison Carter gets behind her own? You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot that can happen here. I'm going to go in the South Towns region. I'm going to go on a limb here. Sabres Twitter to the Final Four.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, Sabres Twitter to the Final Four.
The Final Four.
Sabres Twitter
That's when
to
you
the
think
Final Four.
Supreme, real quick. I mean, realistically, there's a chance by in their second, third round matchup, if they make it that far, the Sabres might lose 15 in a row.
That is true.
It could be that bad.
Well, that's putting it lightly. I mean, it's the Sabres. I'm literally speechless right now, trying to think of how to describe them, and I guess we'll leave it at that because they're not worth mentioning right now. It's just how can the Bills be so good? The Bills of all people, they had the drought that lasted 2 decades almost, and now the Sabres are seemingly worse than like the Bills ever seemed to be while we were growing up. So yeah, Sabres Twitter, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. It's so entertaining, and go follow Crossing Swords Pod if you aren't already while you're at it.
Go follow Crossing Swords Pod. And a huge shout out again to the Architect Supreme putting this whole bracket together. Obviously, we had our selection committee, but the man behind the myth, the Buffalo Bracket Supreme. Like, can't wait to see what happens these next 3 weeks. My quick Final Four, I will go chicken wings. I am going to go upset Seneca One Tower in the Final Four of the Frontier region. I will go with I'm going to go with Madison Carter in the Final Four. I mean, by the way, Josh Allentown versus Madison Carter in the round of 32 is going to be an absurd matchup. And I will go with Wegmans. So Wegmans, Madison Carter, Seneca One Tower, chicken wings. There's my Final Four. I can stand by that Final Four.
You have Seneca 1 beating Bills home playoff game?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
They only have to beat them in the Elite Eight. They'll have momentum by then.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the thing. If that was a 32 matchup, I don't think they can get the momentum by then.
I think the only thing that really holds back Bills home playoff games in my mind is the fact that like most people, especially most people our age, still have not yet been to a Bills home playoff game.
Exactly. Only 7,000 people could go.
Exactly. So you two are very lucky to be in attendance for that. You know, I'm still looking, for example, for my first home playoff game, and I can't wait for it. So like the idea gets me going, but I haven't been there, so I really don't know what it's all about. I say no for my Final Four. North Towns, chicken wings, easy. Niagara Frontier region. I think for that fact, I think local breweries makes it into the Final Four and knocks off Bills home playoff games because the local brewery scene here in Buffalo, New York is absolutely unreal right now. And, you know, we've been in a pandemic. We've been social distancing. You know, we're a drinking town. But you go to other places. I was just down in Orlando. And not to say that they didn't have good breweries or good beer down there, but it's simply not the same as what you're looking at and what you're dealing with here in Buffalo, New York. It's so competitive, but in a good way. It's a healthy sense of competition. So local breweries, I think they make it to the Final Four to go face off against chicken wings, and that would be a wild matchup. Out of the South Towns region, I wanted to say that Josh Allentown, being a dual threat of both our franchise quarterback with the monster arm and looking great in shorts, you know, seemingly can do no wrong, plus one of the best parts in town. But yeah, he's going up against Madison Carter, you know, likely going against Madison Carter in the second round. And it's heavy competition. I think that Barbell Tavern, this will be the year that they make it out of the South Towns region into the Final Four, opening up 2 locations and crushing it with takeout all quarantine long. And then obviously Wegmans going to the Final Four as well. Out of the Southern tier, I see Wegmans and chicken wings going to the championship, and I think Wings gets its second title in 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a big year for chicken wings, and no one's standing against that. What was their regular season record? 30-2?
Yes. There's that. The chicken wings, they're a blue blood. They don't fall off.
Seriously.
At least not in our town. And with Wegmans, I mean, I love Wegmans to death. Anybody, you could ask anybody. I'm a Wegmans stan. Love Danny. But I think that people might associate some of like the awkwardness about like having to go to grocery stores in the beginning of quarantine. It was definitely a weird time going into Wegmans for like March through May of 2020.
Oh, you mean when it was closed for an hour? What the hell?
So weird.
Yes. But at the same time, shout out to all of the employees who worked there. Both of my younger sisters worked there, grinding it out during some tough times, a lot of uncertainty. So for them, for everybody else who's working out on the front lines, hats off to you guys.
I mean, talk about Wegmans back in March, April. I mean, we'd bring what, like a $250 order in the house. We try and stock up for 3 weeks so you don't have to go back. Like, think about how weird that was back then. And we're wiping everything down, putting it in the cupboards and the fridge. Yeah, everything is getting wiped down. It's so crazy to what we were doing March, April last year compared to, March this year being a year later. Pretty nuts.
It is crazy to think back on it, but
it'll be interesting. The thing that you see is that people voted Bills home opener for the winner last year. Was that because the quarantine was just setting in and people were desperate to get out at a big event where they could see everybody and have fun? So are people going to vote for the thing that they want the most this year? Or are they going to vote for the thing that had the best year? Let the people decide, I say.
Yeah, love it.
Only time will tell. But I do think, Maniac, I think you're a little bit right. So I'm interested to see how the polls go this year. I think that there's going to be a lot of unexpected upsets. But really, I guess I never thought as a lifetime Northtowner that I'd be so excited about the Southtowns region. So,
me too. It's gonna be awesome.
Be awesome.
And Supreme, tell the people what's going on tonight.
Well, tonight, right after this show is over, I'm going to be posting out the bracket so all of you out there can fill out your own. We want you to fill it out. We want to know who your Final Four and your champions would be in the bracket. Also, later on tonight, we got the Bachelor finale. Who will Matt James pick? Only Bachelor insider Kiki Mary can tell us. So that's entirely up to him or up to her. And the him I was thinking of is we have a very special guest on Crossing Swords podcast in just a couple minutes, Bruce exclusive. So it is jam-packed.
Crowd assist. You're okay.
Crowd assist. But yes, jam-packed night for us tonight. Huge week for us. It's truly March Madness here at Trainwreck Sports.
Oh, it's madness. It's March Madness. It's Christmas week. I'm so excited. Buffalo bracket going down. Kiki Mary is picking out her outfit.
There we go.
Bachelor Monday, Bruce exclusive Crowd Assist podcast. Maniac, DJ Supreme. Thank you for joining me tonight. And this is the Buffalo Bracket 2021, sponsored by Outlet Liquor, the place to buy a case. That's all I'm going to say. Good night now.